Okay, Assalamualaikum class and very good morning. Today we will cover chapter 8, operation and attribute. Um, so this chapter objective is to define the operation of the class, define the attribute, define the encapsulation and state its benefit, and represent attribute and operation of class diagram. As we discussed in previous chapter, when we discuss on the class object class, and we define what is the class, right? Class is the uh, class is a group of object. Yeah, so we we define the class while we identify the object involved. Yeah. So I give an example of the class people. So people involve many objects such as a student, staff, uh, manager, etc. Okay, and the most important thing is that you need to understand that when we do the object analysis, yeah, or object oriented analysis, software development life cycle. So in the stage of analysis, after we collect the requirement, we do the analysis, which is involve the use case. Yeah, so from the use case we describe the use case specification, where you detail the each of the use case in terms of their flow of event. Yeah, so the flow of event divided into three, but I always suggest you to start with the basic flow. Okay, from the basic flow you extend your use case specification to the use case to the alternative flow or exceptional flow. Okay, and then while you're writing your use case descriptions or use case specification, you need to mention, yeah, the three stereotype of the object. Why I ask you to mention or write with the stereotype of the objects is because to make you easy to discover the object class. Yeah? Because the main objective of the use case analysis is to discover the object or class, because the class is the static structure of your system. Yeah? Where the class will show the system classes, the system attributes, operations or methods, and the relationship among the object. Okay, we go back to the use case specification. From there you discover the object class, right, based on the stereotype, object stereotype. So uh, when you create or initial object class, so the class is empty, right? You will just give the name of the class. Okay, and that's why you need to understand the class is a static structure of your system. If you only have a class but you don't have the operation and attribute, so your class is useless. Yeah, and even if you have a class operation and attribute and the class know where to go, for example, you don't have any relationship between class, so the class also considered useless. So that's why in this chapter we try to explain you what is the operation and attribute. So operation and attribute is very important to make sure that your class is function, or to perform, or to make up the whole system of your application. So firstly, we go to attributes. So what is the attribute class? So attribute is a data definition held by the instances of a class. So remember that each of class got three compartments. First compartment is a name of the class. Second is an attribute. Third is the operation. So what is an attribute class? So attribute is a state of the class. Okay. Remember that when we introduce you the theory of the object and class. So each of the object or class should have a state. Yeah, state. I give you an example. Object dog, for example. The state of dog, for example, the dog is sitting, the dog is barking, yeah, the dog is walking, etc. So this is when you collect the state of the object, it become attributes. In database, they call it. You start to do the. You collect the, or you define the entity, and then after that you define the attribute, right? So this is one of the process to build or to develop the database of your system. An attribute do not have behavior and they are not an object. Okay, so this you need to remember that attribute name are simple nouns and noun phrases. Example, name, employer, ID, subject, and thought. Okay, I'll show you later after we explain to you in theory how to create the attribute. Yeah. So this is a attribute depend on the domain. Normally, when you want to discover the attribute, you need to understand the system. Okay, so that's why we start the SDLC is the user requirement. So when you understand the user requirement, you know what the data is required to make up your application or your system. So let's say you do a bank system, so you need to identify the information or data required for bank system, and also for healthcare information system. You need to understand the business process of the healthcare system. So in the healthcare system, we got health worker, consists of doctor, nurses, medical assistant, driver, etc. Yeah. Okay, and then we got a ward, we got medical record, we got discipline, sub-discipline, health facility name, etc. Same also in the education domain. So we got student, we got lecturer, we got class, we got course, we got subject, we got CGPA, etc. So this is a information that finally you define it in database as an attribute. Okay, so I need to explain to you what is the derived attribute. Okay, so when you define the attribute, each of the attribute will have a value. So they will carry or they will hold the value. Example, date of birth, carry the date of your birth, yeah. And then when you want to calculate your age, so the date of birth is used to deduct from the current date. When we deduct the current date to your date of birth, so it becomes the age. So age in your system we consider is a derived attribute. Okay, so normally derived attribute is stored in the memory of the system, okay, or they call it working storage. We define one variable to keep the age. Okay, okay, that a name is a derived attribute, which is in other words, the derived attribute is uh, a temporary storage, store a value uh, of the data. Okay, so how are the attribute discovered? So many attributes are discovered in the flow of event for the use case. Yeah, so you need to look for nouns that were not considered good candidate classes. So other are discovered when the class definition is created. And domain expertise can also provide good attribute. So there is no cookbook to define the attribute. The sorry, the the main formula, the best formula to discover attribute is you understand the business process of the system that you want to build. Okay, like I said just now, if you develop a healthcare information system, you need to know the healthcare information system business flow thoroughly. Yeah, that's why you need you need to have a good skill to do the analysis of the system. Anyway, I will show you how to discover the attribute through sequence diagram. There is a basic way how to discover the attribute. So if you got less information about your system, uh, sometimes a tool will help you uh, how to discover the attribute. I'll give you an example. I always use star UML. If you can follow or you can download this free star UML, then you can follow me how to create some of the UML diagram. I need to check my video, is it working or not. Okay, it's still okay. Okay, this is one of the sorry, this is a class diagram. So normally we discover the attribute and operation through the sequence diagram. Okay, so when you start your analysis, you start with the use case, you describe your use case specification, and then you come out with the class diagram. Yeah, so this is a enhanced class diagram. I'll give you an example. Normally your initial class diagram is like this. Yeah, patient information, net of skin, family, and insurance. Yeah, you just discover this thing only. Oh, I can show you one example. Okay, let's say you discover a system. Yeah, the system. This object is discovered from your use case specification, and then let's say you discover one boundary, yeah, at mid screen level. Okay, you just discover the object name only, or class name. Yeah, so this is normally the initial process when you discover your class, like your class. Yeah? So this is a class diagram, incomplete class diagram. And then another class, let's say you discover one entity, patient DB, for example. Okay, so you see this is this class got three compartments. Yeah, so from the class diagram, initial class diagram, you need to go to sequence diagram. Yeah? So you need to model your object through sequence diagram. So uh, this is where you come out your operation and also the attribute. This is the way how you uh, discover your attributes. Okay, so this is an example of sequence diagram to admit the patient. So administrator start with input login. What are the input they have to enter? ID and password. Okay, so ID and password is the attributes. Okay, and then after input input login information, so the administrator input patient information. So administrator will input the patient ID, name, address, and so on. So this is attribute. This sequence diagram is a label only. Yeah, in star UML you can convert this label. Example, ID and password you can convert into the uh, real attribute, which can be processed by the UML, star UML, to generate the application. But for the purpose of this class, I will not show you how to generate the label of attribute and operation automatically to the application or system. Okay, we just show you how to uh, discover the attribute. Okay, class. So this is how to discover the attribute. Yeah, you need to understand the system that you want to develop. Okay, we go to the operation. Okay, what is an operation? Operation normally uh, decided in the third compartment of the class. Yeah. Uh, you look here. Okay, the operation in the third compartment. This is a name. This is an attribute. This is a operation. Okay. So what is an operation class? Operation is a behavior of the class. So I give you example in object or class theory. So each class should have attribute and operation. So attribute is the state of the class. So operation is a behavior of the class. Okay, so operation is the if you talk in the technical term, so the operation is the logic of your program. So this is an example. Let's say calculate balance, get balance. Okay, this is a behavior of the class. Yeah? So whatever function, yeah, to be performed by your application, so this is the operation of your class. So you need to name your operation carefully. Yeah, don't use operation name as you like. So normally when we develop application, we got a standard how to naming the operation. So normally we start with the small capital letter. Yeah. This is a example: calculate balance, get balance. Yeah. So make it the operation name standard. Yeah. This is the purpose of this is to make your system easy to maintain later. Okay, syntax of operation. Some of the operation we can define as a public or private. Yeah. This is a syntax of operation: private, protected, public, or package. Okay. This syntax you can read by yourself. Private mean only class in the same container can see and use the classes. Public, so any class can access or can use the operation. Okay, what is the operation signature class? So operation signature uh, is the operation or is the argument list and return class. So when you write your operation, so you need to pass some of the value. Okay, they call it parameter here, IC number, or you can pass in object, yeah? Patient information, for example. So like this one, you return the, so this is a return value, this is a passing value. So when you perform this search patient, you pass this IC number, then you expect the information returned to you, this information, patient information. Yeah. So same like update patient. Yeah. So when you update the patient, so you need to pass the uh, patient information. Okay, so the boolean return whether the update is success or fail. Yeah, normally negative or positive value. Okay, so each of the operation need to define the operation signature. Yeah, like this one. Okay, so this one. Okay, update subject. This is a national record identification. The type of NRIC is string, and the return value is a subject. Okay. This is an example of uh, operation signature. Okay. And this is a attribute. So attribute should have a type, string or boolean or varchar, and so and etc. Okay. This is a process how you discover the operation. Yeah. So operation or attribute can be discovered through your sequence diagram. Okay. So in any case of uh, system analysis or object modeling, so you need to refer your use case specification. Yeah, class. So when you get the new requirement, so you need to update your use case uh, descriptions. I show you the use case description here. Okay, so you need to maintain your use case description accordingly. Yeah. Uh, your use case description or use case specification is a dynamic. So when you do analysis, of course the requirement will be increased. So you need to update this one, and then you need to update your class diagram. So always update your class diagram, and then go to the sequence diagram. You update your sequence diagram. So any changes on the requirement, so your sequence diagram also need to update. So you need to update like this. Okay, it's very difficult to remember the use case specification. You copy your sequence flow of your use case description, copy and then paste at the left side of your sequence diagram. Then you can read from here, and you start to design your object interaction, or your sequence diagram. So class, this is a way how you discover your operation, and also the attributes. So from the sequence diagram. So how you want to know where is the operation, where is the attributes, and this operation is owned by which object or which class. Okay, always see the arrow. So when the arrow go to this object patient manager, and this is a search patient, so the search patient operation is owned by the patient manager. Okay, so when you look at this message, from window panel to patient manager, so they use a search patient. I think this is not a good example, so I show you this real one. Okay, so this is a class diagram. Where is it? Okay, administrator, admit screen, system, patient, admission. Now I create for you a new class diagram based on this sequence diagram. So we got what is it? Administrator, admit screen. Administrator. Okay. What else? Admit screen. Okay, and then we got system and patient admission table. System, the system. This is a controller, and the patient table. Or patient record. Okay, so this class diagram doesn't have a relationship. So if you want to know the relationship between objects, so you go to the sequence diagram. Okay, administrator connect to admit screen. Administrator to admit screen. Then the admit screen relate to the system. And then the system will connect to patient record. Okay, so we arrange the object. This one. Okay, now we want to discover operation, yeah, from the sequence diagram. So you look at the arrow here. First type, input login. So this is owned by the emit screen. Input login, input patient info. So emit screen and also the message. Yeah? Emit screen, basically they have three operation. Yeah? Input login, input patient info, and message. You look at this arrow, where the arrow end. So this is a operation owned by this object. Okay, we start to create the operation of emit screen. What is it? Input login, right? Okay. Input patient info. Another class is a input patient info. So another one is a message. Okay, class. So now you got three three operation for emit screen. And then look at the system. Look at the arrow to the system. How many operations object system got? Okay, they got submit and also the message. Update your class diagram. Sorry. Okay, click submit and then message. Okay. Then look at the patient record. What is the operation? Okay, there are a lot of operation goes to patient admission. Yeah, submit, add, verify patient, add patient 3. So this is a 3 candidate for the operation for patient admission. Submit, add, verify patient. Submit, add, sorry, verify. What else, class? Add patient. Add patient. Okay. So now you got you already complete your, not complete. You already identify your operation, and now you start to discover the attribute. Yeah, so see at the beginning of the process flow, input login. So this operation carry ID and password. So this is a candidate attribute for a class admit screen. So go to your class diagram and start to add the attribute ID and now I'm very easy to forget something. Yeah. So password, ID and password, PWD. Okay. Okay, you can define the password. For example, this is a bar chow example. Yeah. So that's why I recommend you to use star UML. It's very easy to design your object, yeah. And the diagram is uh, very easy to learn how to create the object, the class diagram, sequence diagram, and the model is integrated each other. So you can see here there are a lot of object is created in the right of the diagram. Okay, so you need to explore this one. I will not explain you how to use the star UML. Okay, so let's say the ID also you can define the attribute as ID is a string, for example. Okay, and now you want to uh, discover the system attribute. So normally the controller doesn't carry any attribute. So look at your sequence diagram. Oh, they bring the ID and what is it? PIF. Never mind, we just put the admin screen got name and address. So you need to update here. Name and address. Okay. This is the name. Address. Okay. So here we create the ID and the password. Okay, what is the value parameter for the patient record? So go back to the sequence diagram and check what is the value that the message carry. So for time being, there is no value show. Yeah? So you need to update this one. So you need to update the operation for submit at what are the value that they carry to update in the patient admission table. Okay. Of course, when you call this function or this operation for this class, so you need to bring something, right? You need to bring a value for the function, for the operation to process, whether to be added or to be modified or update or deleted and so on. Okay, so I think this is a example. You I hope you understand how to manage your model, yeah, before you start or before you go to the design, yeah. So this class, each of the class need to complete, yeah. So you need to uh, update the signature. Okay, so you need to update the operation signature here. Okay, like this one, yeah. So you need to update this one. Okay, I think that's all class. Now I show you what is the attribute, what is the operations, and how to discover the the attribute, how to discover the operation, and how we want to discover the relationship as well. Okay, so this is a summary operation and attribute. So each of class should have an operation and attribute. At least one class should have one operation and at least one attribute. Okay, so so how you want to discover the operation and attribute? You need to go back to your sequence diagram, or firstly you need to create your sequence diagram, and then you need to update your use case description or use case specification and update your sequence diagram, and then from the sequence diagram you will discover the operation and attribute. Okay class, that's all for chapter 8, operation and attribute. So thank you very much and assalamualaikum.